Hey everyone, I'm Mike McGowan with Beer, Sex, and Motorcycles. A little bit of a different topic today. We're going to talk a little bit about COPPA. What it is, what it means to me, what it could mean to you if you use YouTube to do any kind of videos at all. So what's COPPA? COPPA is COPPA, is the Children's Online Privacy and Protection Act. It was enacted sometime back in the late 90s, and it went along with how advertisers couldn't collect data on kids. So sounds a good idea, right? You don't want people having information on kids. You know, that's how all weird stuff happens. And everything's fine. YouTube agrees to the COPPA stuff, and it was all good for them until about a couple of years ago, when they had been saying that everything on YouTube, you either had YouTube proper or you had YouTube for kids. You cannot have, under the terms of service that nobody ever reads. I don't read it, you don't read it, nobody does. It's full of legalese, and you want to use whatever it is, and you can't use it unless you agree to it. So, except for a couple little things, you say, yeah, whatever. You know, because usually, as long as you're doing a lot of good stuff, you know, it never applies to you, really. You know, don't be an asshole. It's the only thing. So, they did that, and then they found out that YouTube was saying that, oh, YouTube is the best place for kids. Not YouTube kids, regular YouTube, which it is. I know lots of people that have kids, and they talk about YouTube. If you have been around and you have Baby Shark stuck in your head, like I know a lot of people do. I don't think I've actually heard that song, but I know people have talked about it. But that's on regular YouTube. It's not on YouTube Kids. So, I mean, it might be on YouTube Kids, but you find it on regular YouTube. And then YouTube advertises that YouTube is the best place for kids. Well, the government uses that against them. They said, well, you're not talking about YouTube Kids, you're talking about regular YouTube, which is, yeah. Because you got all these kids, they're younger than 13, watching YouTube, playing on YouTube. Either they're on their parents' account or sometimes even have their own account, and they're on regular YouTube. So they're fined a couple $1 million. But then YouTube turns around and says, well, we don't want this to happen again. So what we're actually going to do, we're going to enact some new rules. And what that means is, this all has to do with how advertising works. And I just started this channel up again. I have another channel, Iron Drake Studios, where I do a bunch of stuff. And I'm worried about that channel as well, also. But for right now, I'm just going to talk about Beer, Sex, and Motorcycles, which is an adult-themed channel. There's no other way around it. It's adult-themed. The things that I do on here and will do, plan to do, are going to be adult-themed. However, the definitions for what is considered child content, not child friendly, just child content, and that's what they're going to be going over. I don't know if they're going to have somebody going over it like real people, like teams of people, scouring every single video ever made. I don't know what that means for YouTube channels for creators that have abandoned it, and you know, they don't even know their login information anymore or anything. Because I know some people that do. Like, somebody set up a channel and something happened with their Google and now they can never access it again. The videos are still there, but then, you know, what happens now? My channel, you know, it's adult content, but if it has, and this is the thing, and they're being very, very iffy about a lot of things, child content. That means any animation, bright colors, slang like cool or duh. You know, you have to make at least PG-13. So you gotta throw a fuck in there, or you gotta throw a fuck. Wait, you're only allowed one fuck for PG-13, right? Was that 3 or 4 fucks now? It's more fucks than I can give, alright? And that's what I need to do. And you need to almost have something written in there, but even if they give you 2 options. Either I'm making child content, which they shouldn't be able to do on regular YouTube anyway, or I'm not making child content. But if you're not making child content like this, but if I do something anywhere, and they say, well, that's obviously geared towards children because, oh, well, I have a very pretty motorcycle. Well, kids like machinery, don't they? Yeah. Or if there's music, oh, play music and there's colors. There's all kinds of stuff that it's not made for kids, but it could be appealing for kids, and that's what they're worried about. And then kids watch it, and then the advertisers come, and they collect all that information on them anyway. So if you are found to be having a channel that can be considered appealing to kids, you yourself, not YouTube, you yourself as a creator will be slapped with a fine of $42,530. I don't even know where the fuck they came up with that number. It's a ridiculous fucking number. But they come after you for every video they find. It's $42,000 a piece. Can you even imagine? All of a sudden, $42,000 bill by the government, by the FTC. Not the FCC, the FTC, the Federal Trade. I forget where it comes up that happens. But it's boggling. It really is. And I've heard people say that there's supposed to be a third option. There's supposed to be child content, adult content, and fair use, which is where I believe a lot of my Iron Drake Studio stuff comes in, because it's not made for kids. It's not specifically made for adults. Like a lot of how-tos. Like, do you ever, well, how do I fix this in my house or something, how does this work or something? It's not specifically geared toward kids. It can be informational or informative. Not necessarily cartoons, but there are a lot of cartoons, like if South Park, Rick and Morty, what was it, Dark Matter 2424 or something like that, if you've ever seen any of his stuff. Like, his stuff is animated, but it's, adult themes. Like, it's very thinking stuff, but like, they can still say, well, it's a cartoon, and cartoons are kids, right? And the thing you got to remember, a lot of the people that are in charge, the rule makers, the lawmakers, some of the people, and this came out during when Zuckerberg was testifying in front of Congress, some of these people don't know how the internet works. They don't even have cell phones, let alone smartphones. They don't know. They're just old people. And that's not a dig against old people. But how do you expect somebody who doesn't understand the technology to legislate the technology? And that's where we're at with this. So now, YouTube, who wants to keep as much money as it can, and let's face it, I want to keep as much money as I can. That's understandable. But at the same time, you're going to screw over the people that produce. The idea originally was that YouTube set up creators. It's a free space on the internet. You can upload videos. Okay, but what makes it appealing for this service, YouTube, versus any other service? Well, they started to do ads, and they matched that up with creators. So okay, if you do this and you get so many views, and they've changed the goalpost for what makes monetization with ads so many times. I've been monetized twice and had my monetization taken away because they moved the goalpost. So right now, I'm not making any money off this ad. You may still see ads before or after my videos, but I'm not getting paid for it. So thanks, asshole, dipshit, fuck. Until I get a couple other thousand subscribers and I have so many minutes watched. But YouTube, they got the thing so that, you can make money if you upload your videos. Well, everybody's like, well, fuck yeah! I'd like to make some money while doing something I like, and you got some very creative people on here. You search YouTube, you can find some very creative stuff. You can find some informational stuff, some entertaining stuff, stuff like me, stuff like them, anything, it is out there. What separates this from Vimeo or anything else? Well, number one, they make it so that you have to make money here with advertisers. Vimeo, you can put it behind a paywall, like Patreon, so that you can only watch the videos if you get subscribers that pay. So that's one way to do it. So, it's different ways to set it up. But the advertisers, they were collecting data off of everybody, but they're not collecting data off of YouTube Kids. So, that's breaking the COPPA Act. You're collecting data. These people are definitely not 13 years of age. So that's why YouTube got fined. So now it's going to screw with everybody. And right now there is no third option for that fair use. It's not there. It's supposed to be there. But just like YouTube, they've done fuck all about it. And there I go with my language. I'm going to have to. And I've actually considered, even before I started doing this, do I start a Patreon and go on Vimeo, or do I even just start it on Pornhub? Because the plan is, going forward, there's going to be adult content. I mean, I'm going to get out to some rallies. There may be some stuff going on. I may be partying at the hotel afterwards. I might have a couple girls with me. We might be having a lot of fun. It may end up on video. I'm not specifically saying what. I'm just saying it's a possibility. And I want to share these stories because that's really what this channel is about. It's about sharing these stories, the adventures on the road, out there, working in the garage, this, that, and the other. And every time I try to do something like this, it's always something that sets it back and fuck all. That, like, why bother? Why try? I mean, well, Pornhub, that would be a good place. I mean, they have started a thing where you can post stuff that is not specifically porn. There is a safe for work section of Pornhub, if you didn't know that. It is there. Like Twitch, but I think Twitch is just live streaming, and I don't do enough live streaming. Like, you get lost in all the gameplay footage. And that was another thing. Like, there's a whole lot of, like if you know Minecraft, there's a lot of Minecraft, people playing that and streaming it on YouTube. And what you get is people doing commentary, and they're swearing, they're saying fuck, damn, cunt, bitch, slap, fuck, all over the place. So it's like, that's not kids' content. Now, Minecraft is appealing to kids, but the commentary is not. And who gets to decide what is and what isn't? We don't even know. We don't know what the boundaries are. And like I said, the definitions are so broad. If it has pets, if it has bright colors, if it's animated, if there's slang, if there's catchy music. I'm like, you're describing 90% of the internet, How do you do that? How do you decide? Where do you even go? So, I want to get some thoughts and feelings. Do I stick with YouTube? Do I search for another video host? I'd like to keep this going. I mean, I just started again. But even still, I have my studio, which I'm hoping to keep under fair use, because while it is not specifically adult-oriented, it is not specifically kid content, it is instructional. It shows off a lot of my work. I can't say if it's entertaining or not, and I can't say that, kids would or would not like it. But right now, I set it up as, adult content. And so, well, why don't you just make it kid content? Well, then, because if you set it up as kid content, it's no longer shareable, it's no longer, searchable, you can't get notifications, I don't think you can subscribe. It takes away everything that makes having a YouTube video on there, it takes that all away. Because they don't want you to be able to find it so you can advertise it, so you can make money off of it, da-da-da-da-da. It takes all of that away, and it's like, well, why the hell would I make anything for kids then? Why would anybody? You have to have a very specific purpose. And I know there are people out there that specifically would do that, but not me, and that's why I just can't even think about why or how, because it just doesn't come to me. But if you have a YouTube channel, you need to decide. You can set it per channel, or you can set it per video. Right now, I have mine set up per channel as adult content, and it still could be fuck. Let's see, I'm looking at this and I notice my dog's lamb chop broke back there. Fuck, because they were being bad and I had to take the lamb chop off of them. They ripped out the squeaky in it. So You know, things like that. If you have that, like, well, that's kid friendly, isn't it? Like, yeah, but that was from my time. I don't think you can take any 8-year-old right now and point to Lamb Chop and they can say that's Lamb Chop. Like, who the fuck remembers that shit? The song that never ends. You know? Just one of those things. But, drop your thoughts, comments below. I'll see if I can find a thing for more information on that. Drop it in the description. Have a good one. I'm going to be releasing another video soon, probably over the weekend. Beer, sex, and Hondas. How about that? See you then.